Welcome to Rajendra Tandon videos. I am taking up Bhagavad Gita Chapter 13. Krishna presents an interesting formulation of how the world works. He names the human body as the kshetra, that is the field, and the soul as kshetragyam, the knower of the field. Whatever is happening in this world, whatever is being done by the human beings, is discussed here more than in any other chapter. Excellent advice is given how human beings should behave towards each other, what qualities they should develop, how should they become better human beings, better social beings. And for that reason, this chapter has great importance in our thinking. The name given besides Kshetra and Kshetragya is Prakriti and Purush. In Shloka 2, Krishna says, Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetram iti abhidhiyate etad yo vetti tam prahu kshetragya iti tad vida. Human body is the field of activity. One who knows this is called the knower of the field. But this body is different from the soul. The body and all material manifestations are experienced. The soul is the experiencer, but it does not participate. The soul is God. The real knowledge lies in knowing the knowledge of the field, of the kshetra. In Shlokas 6 and 7, a very authoritative analysis is given of how the human body operates. I have given these shlokas in the video as well with translations, but I would still explain them to you. Mahabhutan ahankaro buddhir vyaktamev cha indriyani dashaikam cha panch che indriya gochara ichha dvesha sukham dukkham sanghatas chetana dhriti etat kshetram samasena savikaram mudahritam. Translated by Swami Tripurari, this reads: the great elements, egoism, intellect, the unmanifest, the 10 senses and the mind, the 5 sense objects, desire, repulsion, pleasure, pain, the organic whole, consciousness and conviction. In brief, these are considered to be the field and its modifications. The senses are both motor and perceptual: hands, legs, genitals, mouth, ear, skin, eyes, tongue and nose, and the mind. The 5 objects of the senses are 5 indriya: sound, touch, form, taste and smell. Qualities which are reflected in the mind are desire, repulsion, pleasure, pain, consciousness and conviction. This is a sort of analysis, a lesson in psychology. But this is a very important facet of Jnana. And in the following shlokas of 8 to 12, all the desirable qualities and virtues of a human being are enumerated. Again, I am using Tripurari's translation because that makes it easy. Humility, unpretentiousness, non-violence, patience, simplicity, service to the Guru, cleanliness. We remember the Prime Minister's Swachh Bharat at this moment. Persistence, self-restraint, renunciation of sense objects, absence of egotism, repeated contemplation of the painful shortcomings of birth, death, old age and disease. This is very important. When we live our life, we suffer from sickness. We grow old, we suffer debility. To bear with all this is a part of human experience. And Krishna says, towards all this should be the equanimity of mind. Even the family's entanglement, he says, avoid it. And the last but not the least is the unswerving exclusive yoga in devotion to God. Resorting to secluded places, disinterest in social gatherings, steadiness in self-realization, keeping inside the purpose of the philosophy. This is the knowledge, Krishna says, this is the real knowledge, this is the knowledge of the Kshetra. And unless you imbibe that knowledge, you are not complete. It could not have been said better. However you analyze the qualities which have been indicated, they are all human qualities. They don't relate to the soul. They relate to our behavioral patterns. They make us better human beings. He says the involvement in family also is not desirable. Then don't go on thinking of the painful shortcomings of birth, death, age, old age, disease. Qualities like cleanliness, persistence, self-restraint, renunciation of sense objects are so desirable. And then he says, besides this comes the knowledge of Anadi Brahma, the soul, which had no beginning. It lies beyond cause and effect. That soul, that Anadi Brahmana, pervades all. Yet he does not participate in whatever we do. He exists beyond the karmic plane of cause and effect. And knowing him in any of his transcendental features, one attains the nectar of immortality. He is Bhagavan. He is Param Brahma. He is outside and inside all beings. He moves and yet remains still. Being subtle, he is incomprehensible. He is far, yet so near. So there is a parallel discussion going on. What the body does, we know. How to improve that, we are told. What the soul knows is beyond this, yet it is there. God is light. God is knowledge. So says the Shloka 18. He is the light of lights. He is beyond darkness. He is knowledge as well as the object of knowledge and the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everybody's heart. When people greet me and ask me, how are you? I reply, Aapki kripa hai. It's very kind of you. I live with your blessings. Invariably they tell me, it is God's blessings. I tell them, you are my God. What I see God in you. Therefore, if you are kind to me, I am happy. This is the gist of the teachings of Gita. It's not so abstract. It's all real. It is practical. Another very interesting observation has been made in Shloka 20. And this is a question to which answer has not been given as yet. There is no beginning for Prakriti or for Purush. For God or for the human beings. When did it all begin? Nobody knows. Perhaps we'll never know. So Krishna says both Prakriti and Purush are without beginning. And Prakriti is the agent of transformation that brings about the effects of the body and its senses. Because those are the means of experience. We experience this world with our body. However, Purush is the actual experiencer of happiness and distress. He experiences the qualities born of material nature. A very deep observation has been made in the Shloka 27. All material manifestation, a product of interaction between matter and consciousness, between Kshetra and Kshetragya. It is a result of the union of the field and the knower of the field. Contact with the modes of material nature is the cause of repeated birth and death. In 28, there is an excellent summing up. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatusva vinashyantam ya pashyati sa pashyati. One who sees the Supreme God abiding equally in all beings. Mark the words equally. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior. And that God, He does not perish when others perish. He is the true knower. He truly sees. Pashyati sa pashyati. Immediately it is followed by another great sentence and advice. Samam pashyam hi sarvatram samavasthitam ishwaram. Seeing Bhagwan everywhere, in every one of us, we do not degrade ourselves. We do not hurt anybody else. If I hurt another, I am hurting myself. This is the message of this chapter. Of course, again and again the emphasis is made, like in Shloka 32, this imperishable Supreme Soul is beginningless and free from the influence of the material nature. Even though situated within the body, he does not act, nor is he tainted. This thought has been repeated many times in Gita. I would go a further step. Leave this aside, but improve yourself as a human being. Take care of everybody else. Don't hurt anyone. Develop the qualities which have been mentioned in this chapter: humility, non-violence, cleanliness, persistence, self-restraint, shedding of ego, freedom from involvement in family, that is, son, wife, attachment, indifference to birth, death, old age and disease. What an advice! Equanimity of mind towards desirable or undesirable, and of course unswerving devotion to God. The concept of Kshetra and Kshetragya is a novel concept. The author of Gita, there must have been an author. He has developed a new image, an imagery of the field and the manual worker of the field. It is the field in which the seed is sown. It is the field which gives out the crop, and that field here is the body. In this world, everything is done through human body or the body of an animal, take it. It does not matter. The consciousness leads the body onwards, but all the qualities of living are experienced by the body, and Krishna says you must imbibe those qualities. And the entire thing has been summed up in shlokas 8 to 12. Read it often, repeatedly, and you will find what improvement can be done by improving ourselves on these lines. I often find people who are bothered by their increasing age, because a lot of infirmity is caused by that. Krishna says here, don't repeatedly contemplate of the painful shortcomings of birth, death and age and disease. Be detached therefrom. And then he says, freedom from the entanglement of the family life. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, in his experiments with truth, writes of this. He tried to break the shackles. He tried to live as if the family did not exist. He formulated certain principles following Gita and tried to act upon them with equanimity of mind. And of course, Krishna's advice resorting to secluded places, disinterest in social gatherings, steadiness in self-realization can be repeated ad infinitum. because it is so wholesome. We all go on a holiday. We go to jungle lodges. We look at the animals. We look at the plants, the trees. We go to bird sanctuaries. Ultimately, that is what we are doing. And that is what Krishna advised. Improvement is not beyond us. And that improvement, Krishna says, will bring you happiness. That is the message of this chapter, which is titled Prakriti Purush Vivek Yog, the differentiation between human self and the God residing within us. To know the distinction is to have knowledge, which is the best knowledge available to mankind. Thank you very much for listening to me. Listen to this video again and again. You would benefit.